First, I would like to explain, I'm not doing these videos for pity at all. I'm doing these videos because I'm a victim. My family is a victim of our healthcare system. What happened to me is completely unacceptable, and the fact that the bureaucracies of our healthcare Canada are doing absolutely nothing about it and holding no one accountable is completely unacceptable. I'm doing these videos to bring awareness, and as a victim, it's my way to fight back and have my voice heard because I never got my day in court. This will be the last video for now I'm doing on blacklisting, ways that I felt that I've been blacklisted as a patient for filing a medical malpractice suit in Canada. I will share my experiences with filing a medical malpractice suit in Canada in a future video, along with my dealings with our healthcare bureaucracies in Canada. I'll be doing videos talking about the complaint process, like through CPSO, HPARB, the CMPA, how all these bureaucracies are there to protect the doctors. They don't even want to really hear what's happening to the patients, and I'll show you that by sharing my experiences, and let you be the one to decide that. This specific blacklisting event is one that happened probably about 10 years ago. It was before I even realized what was happening, that I was being blacklisted because of the medmal suit. It's the last one I'm going to share for right now, but it was so mortifying and dehumanizing or demoralizing that just thinking back to this event brings back those exact same feelings so strong. Talking about bowel issues is not easy. I've had 13 years because my son just turned 13 this past weekend, so it's been 13 years now officially that I've been battling with this and trying to get help. These videos are helping, which I hope maybe gets other people to share their stories as well, because we need people to understand what's happening in our Canadian healthcare. This was another bowel issue, and I think it was near the beginning. I'd already started getting rectal bleeding 2 days before my period on a regular basis, so I already knew it was bowel endometriosis, even though they weren't willing to go there yet. And I went to Emerge, and it's hard to explain to people that you're too sick to go to Emerge. But that's what often happens with me, where I've spent like 6 hours going from the toilet to the bathroom floor, screaming with my husband helping me back and forth. I couldn't do that in an Emerge. I've done that in Emerge, and it's not anything anybody. It's not manageable. They're not set up. You don't have space for that. Screaming in an emergency room, what's that going to do? I'd rather do it at home. So I went into this appointment knowing that they were going to try and say it was diverticulitis again, because they always try and say it's diverticulitis, which I never had before the C-section either. So regardless, that was a new one. But with diverticulitis, there's a very specific pain, and I do get radio frequency nerve ablations every 3 months to help kill a lot of pain. But with diverticulitis, it's almost like a pinching pain in my lower left abdomen that lets me know it's diverticulitis, and this was not there. I knew it wasn't diverticulitis. I went into Emerge, explained it wasn't diverticulitis because I knew that's where they were going. One of the things that they do when you go into Emerge with any type of rectal bleed, it's called a fecal occult test. So it's basically they do a digital swab of your rectum and then put it on a test that either tests positive or negative for blood. Because I often don't go to the Emerge while I'm actively in a bleed, I go afterwards to make sure there's no permanent damage. But I've on a number of times that occult test has come back negative. And I kept explaining to the lady, because she kept saying it's diverticulitis. And I'm like, it's not diverticulitis. I know it's not diverticulitis. And she kept trying to say it wasn't blood, that it was food, because the occult test came back negative. And I told her all I'd eaten in the last few days was a plain bowl of pasta with like olive oil and garlic on it. That was it. Nothing that could be red. And she I had said to her, I'm like, well, when I go to the washroom and I squeeze, blood comes out. So I know it's still there. Just because you're not getting it on your occult test doesn't mean it's not there. So then she decided that I should go to the washroom and squeeze it out. So she takes me to this washroom. When I tell you mortifying, like I can't even begin to explain, because I was at such an early phase in this process that talking about bowel issues was not easy. And to do this the way that she did this, she took me to a washroom that was right out there. It had a waiting room right outside it. So there was like about 20 people in the waiting room, literally feet from the door of the washroom. Takes me into the washroom, tells me to go squeeze some out. So I go to the washroom, I squeeze some out. She comes back, I go to the door of the bathroom. There's already a lineup outside of the washroom. So I'm guarding the bathroom, yelling across emergency room for her to come back. She comes back, she looks in the toilet and says, see, what did I tell you? It's food. Again, I say, I don't know any noodles that are red that I've eaten. So I argue with her for a minute about it. And then she goes to the door and she screams across the waiting room for this male nurse to bring a strainer so she can prove to me that it's food and it's not blood. I'm standing in front of this room of about 20, maybe 30 people, and like I literally have tears streaming down my face. I'm completely mortified. This male nurse brings over a strainer, she scoops it out and puts it on her occult test, and oh, it is blood. Now we'll do a CAT scan. Now, the part of that that's really annoying is I've been saying it's bowel endometriosis for years and years and years. There's no differential diagnosis for rectal bleeding that comes monthly with your period. There isn't. What's the one imaging that you cannot see endometriosis on is a CAT scan. And it's the one that they've been doing every year, or sometimes twice a year on me, when they know it can't diagnose exactly what I'm saying is the problem, and there's no differential diagnosis. It just blows my mind, the level of gaslighting that I've gotten from our healthcare. The CAT scan was ordered, and sure enough, I was right. It wasn't diverticulitis. There was bowel wall thickening, inflammation, not consistent with diverticulitis, and absolutely none of the diverticuli were inflamed at all. But it's just another example of how going to emerge, and I was glad I had my voice to stand up and say this isn't diverticulitis. There is probably one of the first times that I did find my voice and argued back. I wish I knew everything I knew now, because the gaslighting I've gotten, the misinformation, the outright lies are absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable from our healthcare. So I'll continue these videos with going on to the bureaucratic processes of dealing with a medical malpractice suit and how our country treats those that are medically harmed. Thank you.